Hey everybody, it's Dr. Slavic here, but you can call me of course, and we're back for the third episode of Spyro the Dragon, Reignited. Last episode we went through Dark Hollow, and we went through Town Square, rather. We beat up some bulls, we got beat up by some bulls, and we ranted about one of my favorite levels in a video game. Next up, we're going into the first boss of the Artisans' homeworld, and the only boss of the Artisans' homeworld. Not sure why I phrased it like that. So we're going to begin with Toasty. It's like a little fun little thing. It's going to tell us we are confronting Toasty. And when I was a child, I was a dumbass and didn't know what confronting meant. So I thought confronting was a synonym for now traveling to, or entering, or whatever it says for other levels. Look at that sky, before we get started. It's just beautiful. And this is what the original game is like, too. You get all these great sunsets, sunrises, days in the middle of the day. Days in the middle of the day, that's silly. Levels set in the middle of the day, levels set in the middle of the night. And it's just a great diversity to the levels, and that water reflection is beautiful. A lot of my commentary for this game is just going to be this is a beautiful, a damn good game. But also, these dogs suck. These might be some of my least favorite enemies in a game. I know what you're thinking. Come on, they're dogs. How bad can they be? A little approach. Burn him. That dog is going to body slam us. And you're like, okay, well that's not great. He goes back to sleep. He's cute, sure. You burn him, you're like, perfect. No. For some reason, these are the world's most goddamn durable dogs on the planet. The world's most on the planet. They take 2 hits. I don't believe you can charge them. I've never tried because I've never gotten close enough. They suck. I have lost more lives to them than anything else in the Artisans world because, well, that's basically Artisans easy. A little trick that I learned on my last playthrough through the Reignited, though, something that you can do. The dogs don't have iframes after they have been hit once, which I guess makes sense because this isn't a fighting game. But you can double hit them with flames, and that makes it just a little easier. This is the one level ever where I use the I call it the tactical roll. It's just a barrel roll, but I like coming up with stupid, dumb names for things. Glad I got that gem, because I would have missed it. So, what you can do, flame, and then you... Okay. That didn't work quite right. I'll show you. Okay, exactly. Hit him, and yeah, you can dodge out of the way. It's not very useful. This is the only use case I have, and it doesn't actually help that much. This is another song that really has a good impact on me in the game because it's very dangerous sounding. It's the first point in the game where the game is like actually threatening. These dogs might be the first enemy you get hit by if you're not trying to show off what it's like to lose life and stuff, which is obviously every time I've been hit it's been intentional. Oops. Oh my god. Or that shepherd will get you. Look, I already don't have life, it's crazy. And what's crazier, and what makes these boss fights really fun, there isn't fodder. I don't think I really noticed that. It's something I just sort of internalized. Boss fights, I don't believe any of them have fodder in this game. So yeah, every hit you take matters, and they put the hardest enemies in the boss fights, usually. This is a really fun area. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, I'll explain. Once I don't hear this guy. Okay, well, maybe I should explain first. Those are different levels, and not just from this game. Those are levels from Spyro 2 that we just saw. Glimmer and the homeworld of, I don't remember what the homeworlds are called in Spyro 2, but it was the first homeworld. So yeah. As you can see, this level causes me a little bit of frustration. I'm a person who doesn't like to take things slow in a game, and this is a not great level to be hasty in. Or have hesitations. You have to commit to killing those dogs. I will try to ram one just for the sake of it. Yeah. Awesome. I was busy looking at the fucking painting like an idiot. Ooh. Okay, you can't ram them. Alright, well we're back here with one more dragon fight we had. What is that? I think that's just a dragon. Oh, what if that's the dragon we get in this level? Oh no. It's just really neat. Look at all the details. I try not to swear so much, but sometimes it do be like that, especially in this level. Gonna kill these shepherds. And important thing, don't forget, dragons are checkpoints, so your goal in a boss fight should be to get to a dragon as soon as possible. And this is Nevin.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on! I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. Toasty has many tricks up his sleeve.
Now that dragon, I believe, that is a really cool detail. That's so good. What a great game. Now there's a path back here, which is, I would not blame anyone for missing, especially if you've taken a lot of hits and you're like, oh man, I need a dragon. And this is probably one of my least favorite sections of a game. Of any game? No, of this game. It's a narrow pathway with dogs on it, and when your main defense against the dogs is using the barrel roll maneuver, you fall off a lot fighting these dogs and get squashed, and it's bad. Like that. I'm kind of fine with that because I didn't have any health going into the boss fight anyways, and let me say, the Toasty boss fight might be the hardest in the game. I don't know if that's controversial or not. The second world's boss might be hard, but there's a annoying reason why that's the hardest boss. You may have just caught a glimpse of it. And look, you come around that corner, it's so dumb. You can't see the dogs or anything. Got you. Got you. And that music really just makes this feel, I don't know, doomed? That's not quite the emotion, but I'm gonna get zapped. Here is Toasty and his dog, which we'll name Roasty. Toasty and Roasty. So, first things first, in this boss fight, eliminate the dog. Get rid of the ads. Make sure you have DPS, and as you can see, there is someone inside of Toasty. Toasty is a big spooky scarecrow with a scythe. But there's more, and that more means two dogs. We'll call them Woasty and Ghosty. And they're about to both be Ghosty when I'm done. So this is where the it becomes very easy to draw the aggro, which is a weird thing to say on a platformer, but you draw the aggro from the other dog when you're not trying to beat them, and that makes this boss fight really, really annoying because a lot of times you'll accidentally hit multiple dogs and then one will flop on you and kill you. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that, and you'll see that Toasty was a sheep all along, out for his revenge. Oh, also I think he has like a burnt tail. And that's a cool detail that was definitely not in the original. In the original, he's just one of the sheeps. So anyway, here's three dogs because God, there is no God. As you can see, yeah, the double flaming thing is really trivializes it, and I cannot believe it took me like 20 years to figure out you could do that. So yeah, just because Toasty isn't a scarecrow anymore doesn't mean he can't attack. He can swing his leg at you like that, but you really just have to burn him, and he's good. Himself is not that hard of a boss. You just have to burn him. His attacks are slow and easy to avoid. You usually can burn him before he attacks you. But those dogs suck. Anyways, these are, yes, the last bits of treasure. We got the one dragon in this level, and we are good to return home. So that's it, right? That's everything in the Artisans. We've beaten all three of the main levels and the boss fight. We unlocked all the treasure and dragons, we freed them, and we should be good to go on to the next world. Wrong. There's a secret to be had in the Artisans, and I'll be happy to show you. It's probably a very well-known secret, and it's also not quite as secret as it was in the original in this game. But first things first, let's get some this thing. Alright. So, there's one more kind of level we haven't seen yet, and it is right here. Don't see it? Well, this game trivialized unlocking this part of the game. All you do is step on each one of these stones. Yeah, you do have to do it once perfectly. Like that. It lights up, and it brings this wall down to reveal Sunny Flight. In the original Spyro, These did not have fancy patterns on them. They were just circular stones, and they did not glow or show any change when you landed on them. And you still had to do it perfect like this. Don't worry, the game tells you about this secret. Like 4 worlds later. It is not until the end of the game until you find out about this if you don't already know that it's baked in. So the flight levels are a bit infamous. I think it's unfair. Not the flight levels, but I think that they get a bad rep for no good reason. I don't find them that difficult. What a flight level is, as you might surmise by the name, or just knowing Spyro content, it's a level where you fly. Normally Spyro can't fly, he just glides. This allows you to fly. Flight levels, you're going to have multiple sort of obstacles or objectives, like these chests. You're going to fly around and you're going to break through or fly through pretty much everything. They're a little tricky because the flight is a bit fast and hard to control. And as you can see in the upper right corner, there is a timer. Every time you break an object, you get some time back. So the idea is that you have to do this as fast as possible. You got the chests, and then you go through these arches. Different objects tend to be worth different amounts of points, depending on how close they are to each other. So like if you have a bunch of rings, like one after another very close, they're usually going to be like 1 second addition. Ideally, you would like to do this so that it takes that amount of time to get to the next obstacle. I don't know how feasible that is. You can flap your wings in this game. I don't know if that makes any difference. As far as I can tell, it does not make you fly any faster. Faster? That's so silly. Oh my god. We're not going to make it this first time, but that's fair. It's a warm-up. Then you always have like some sort of vehicle that you have to take down. In this case, it's these planes. And there's another vehicle. I don't know if we're going to get to see it. Also, as we just saw, if you bump into a plane, apparently you fall into the water. If you fall into the water, it is not a game over. You don't lose any lives or anything, but you will have to retry. And you get treasure for each one of these categories that you complete. So you don't have to do it perfect if you're not trying to 100% the game. I don't even think you have to enter these levels at all if you just want to beat the game. But they do help if you need treasure, which you will to unlock worlds. The game is pretty casual about the requirements to beat it. You can skip whole worlds at times if you 100% some worlds. It's real crazy. Other times you can't. Alright. We're doing a lot better here. We have like 26 seconds on the clock. This is the first one in the game, so it's obviously not going to be that hard. I know people like my brother, and I know people online have a lot of trouble with the flight levels for some reason, and I get that they're different, and maybe they're not as baked into people's consciousness as they are for mine. Like, I know the paths of all of them at this point. Sometimes it might benefit you or behoove you if you want to take on multiple objectives at once, but I find that you tend to get confused when you do that, and you start missing multiple... Ooh. As you can see, this is a little tricky. And sometimes if you go into a dive, you go real fast. That's not the best. But even if it seems like you're running out of time, you can usually make it up fairly well. Oh god, this isn't it. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to know what you're doing, and I can see why people wouldn't like that about that. As you can see, that's our last objective there. It's the trains. Gonna give this another try. I always save the, what do you call them? I've already forgot what these are called. Flight levels. I always try to save the flight levels for the last that I do in a world. I don't know why, it just feels like a fun way to close it, because it's low stakes. It's a fun little challenge. One thing about flight levels, I wish their music was a little better. They tend to just be this sort of rhythmic, sort of racing music, which, you know, it fits. Okay, well, that was cool. I did a good job there. I almost just tried to drink out of my microphone like an idiot. But, like, imagine listening to one of the really good songs from Spyro during these. It would make the experience a lot less painful. And, especially with this first one, it's not that interesting of a locale. It's just sort of like Green Hill Zone. Yeah, it's sort of like Green Hill Zone. No, it's like Stone Hill. It's like the Artisans. It's just a grassy, mountainy, mystical area. Please fly. Like, it's fine. It's serviceable. It's just not that, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it draws you in that well as it could. I'm trying to be a little more focused now. I'm not going to blame the commentary on doing these because they are tricky. I'm not going to say they're not hard. I don't think that they're as impossible as people make them out to be, but they are, you know, they're a challenge. There's a reason why they're optional and they're locked away frequently. Grab these when I can. As you can see, it shows you whatever the last one you collected is, so you can keep track. But that can also make it confusing because you don't know if you have any others sometimes. Usually, and by usually I mean there's always a ideal path to take with these, like an intended way for you to travel through the flight levels to collect everything. God, these planes are one of my least favorite obstacles in any flight level though. That's 2 left. Anything that requires you to make tight curves to intercept something tends to be trickier. Oh my god. Okay, well I'll show you what these trains do. Each train has 2 barrels on it, which means you get a little more time from them, which is nice. I don't think I'm gonna beat this, obviously. We'll see. I'm holding my breath. If you do, it's gonna be close. I'm gonna see. No, okay. Never mind. In later Spyro games, you can supercharge, which isn't even a feature we've seen yet, so I just spoiled that exists. But I wanted to see if you could do that in the fight levels, and boom! 1 second on the clock. 3rd try, maybe 4th try, I wasn't paying attention. 2 minutes, 2 seconds, I will not like to try that again. Add that much, but I also think that they're neat enough. I understand why people find them hard, but I don't know. I'm not that good at video games, and I don't think they're that hard. But I've also played this game since before I have memories of playing this game, so now we're gonna fly across here. And as you remember, I hope, let me grab, I'm close to an extra life. Come here. Thank you. Alright. And once we collect 10 dragons, return to him. And we have 16. So we're gonna go back through these sick checkerboard tunnel, and we're gonna talk to our friend the balloonist.
Wow! I see you've been busy rescuing dragons, Spyro. You may travel to the Peacekeeper you like. Are you ready to go? Hop on, Spyro.